Hey guys, and welcome back to Kirby Planet Robobot. We're going, I guess you could say, under the sea in this part, because it's time for Area 3, Overload Ocean. Let's do this.
Man, the big level that Overload Ocean reminds me of, and I know I have brought this up multiple times when we have done stuff in the past related to Sonic.
Oh, that level, okay.
I'm sorry, Oil Ocean is one of my absolute favorite levels in Sonic ever. I think it all hits home for me. You know, the music is really cool. I like the whole funky Arabian beat. I love how the level's designed. You're going around on oil platforms. The oil is like a more friendly, less threatening version of water, especially the fucking Mega Mac. You know, back in Chemical Plant Zone, you can actually kind of sink into it a level, and you can go underneath certain platforms as a result. And of course, there is the big nostalgia factor, which is, you know, the first time I encountered Oil Ocean was when me and my sister did like this huge marathon gaming session of Sonic 2, and we got as far as Metropolis Zone, where unfortunately we lost all of our lives and our continues there, but still, getting to that point in Oil Ocean is a memory that will stick very strongly to me, and I just love the level as a result.
There you go. Alright guys, mini-boss time. We got Blocky here. He's essentially a Kirby-ized Thwomp, I guess, and that's like the closest thing I can relate to here. If you're using Fighter, like I am here, I would recommend using this bit of like the bridge/platform to do Hadoukens, because I've found if you try to charge it while you're on the one part of the bridge, because you gotta press down and B, you'll basically fall through the bridge itself. So be not an Entom, be a smart SMRT, be one of those.
Since you got the stone power-up, I do want to mention that I did make a mistake previously, and if you... Yes, doing commentary was so long for me, by now you should know that I'm not always on point, but I did make a mistake in saying that you could get Donkey Kong statues and Hylian Shield statues when you use stones down B. That is incorrect. I don't know if it applies to any other, you know, Kirby games, but I do know in this game and in Triple Deluxe that is not true. However, I do remember that, at the very least, in Kirby Superstar Ultra, when you do down B and create the statue, sometimes you will get Mario in the Tanuki suit and pose that he can take. Yeah, it's a really neat little Easter egg. I know you can do that.
Oh, that's adorable. Well, to be fair, I did say stuff like, oh, you could get the Master Sword's Predator, blah. So, it's not all Helldragon's fault, guys. You gotta blame me sometimes, but just blame him more, so I look good in comparison.
Yeah, I mean, blame me more, but most of the time I am pretty great, so I guess it evens out. That is called the universe, my friend. Well,
you're just the heel of HellfireComms. I'm the face, really.
Wait, why am I the heel? I make the most of jokes. Okay, well, they've had funny heels in the past. Like, Chris Jericho, actually. Like, during the heyday of the Attitude Era. Man, when they let him loose, like, he did some of the fucking funniest shit, actually. I really liked him.
Oh, you couldn't afford it, etc.
And of course, Chris Jericho's list that you can, you know, randomly land on. I think he still does the list. I think that's a more recent thing. Don't quote me on that. I have not watched wrestling in a very long time.
You were paying attention to the cannons and whatnot, right, Helldragon?
Yes.
Alright, this is how we use them to get a code cube. You put it on the left-hand one over here, make that Waddle Dee fuck off, light the wick, jump in it, and bada bing, bada boom. We're going upwards.
There we go. The cannons in this game are a lot more forgivable than compared to, say, the cannons in previous games, because they seem to give you more time in this game in Triple Deluxe to actually reach them once you light the wick. Only in earlier games do you feel like you really have to hustle in order to get where you want to go, but to be fair, when you did that, you can access pretty good secret areas with desirable items and power-ups, so it was definitely worth the investment.
We're talking about Superstar here, right?
Yeah, you know, Superstar and other earlier Kirby games. I would imagine this also continued in the GBA Kirbys, which I do not remember very well, admittedly.
Fair enough. It's just that I remember, like, John and Aaron of the Game Grumps, obviously, not some random John and Aaron. They played Superstar. They played it fairly well, but they always seemed to struggle with the cannons a little bit, which I found highly amusing, and then they never finished the game, so that was fun. End of story.
It is amusing when they do not finish their games.
Still waiting on fucking... What's a playthrough of theirs I really like that they never finished? All of them?
Oh, really? How, like, could you give me a percentage as to how many games they have actually completed?
Oh, well, I suppose I'm being a bit unfair. I just want, like, Endless Ocean 2, etc. to be finished, but it's like, I would say, 50 to 60%.
Endless Ocean. That's that Star Ocean game, isn't it?
No, it's a fucking Wii game where you go under the sea and look for fish and whatnot.
Oh, okay. So it's Echo the Dolphin, basically.
Yeah, but without the alien Cthulhu mythos shit.
And that's why Endless Ocean is not nearly as interesting. I'm sorry. Although, I will tell you, Echo the Dolphin, much like we saw in some Call Me Johnny's review of it, is a fucking scary game.
Oh,
when
yeah.
you really get into... Oh, yes, man. I can only imagine the look on a kid's face when he uses, back in the 90s, when he gets this code for the final level of Echo, and he puts it in, expecting a good time, and he finds himself in fucking auto-scroll hell.
Surprise, motherfucker! Oh yeah.
Yeah, Wheel, like I said before, one of my absolute favorite Kirby power-ups, and in this game, because of the robot, he gets a stupendous upgrade that is just supremely fun to play.
Oh, it's coming up right now, in fact, you don't have to wait long at all.
Yeah, I let you sample it a little bit before we actually got to that point, but now we get to have some fun.
Oh man, hold down that accelerate button and don't let go. You're in for a treat, my friends.
I love how the music kicks in. I just love the flipping back and forth between the background and the foreground. These are just some really fun sections. I wish there were a few more of them, but at the same time, much like with the robot in general, it's good that it's not overexposed, that they don't rely on the mechanic as much. So whenever I got to one of these levels, I'm like, oh, fuck yes, I get to do another awesome wheel robot level.
That is true, because, like, when you see it on the overworld, map and whatnot, you're like, oh, I get a chance to just kind of relax and do some, like, high-octane racing fun. It's like Cars without the Lightning McQueen deaths. It's a lot more cathartic that way, because watching a Cars film is not cathartic in the slightest. The opposite, in fact.
Man, Cars really gets a huge bad rap. Like, was the first one even that terrible? I always heard it was just kind of mediocre or okay.
I'd give it like a 6, 7 out of 10. Maybe. It's a merchandise franchise. It's one of those things. Pixar make the Cars film so they can finance their other stuff, pretty much.
I kind of wish there was like some Chinese Cars knockoff toys where, you have Lightning McQueen, he's doing his little smile, things like that, and then it turns into a super serious looking robot because it's a piece of, cheap Chinese knockoff crap.
That last code cube, by the way, can be a real bitch if you're not going at like full speed, so the solution here is never stop going fast, and you'll be able to play that jump like it ain't no fang. This is adorable, by the way.
You have to accelerate just enough to make sure the energy meter gets into that middle highlighted section in order for the laser to activate, which is odd because you never really hear of a device that needs 80% battery power in order to activate.
We need to operate at... Oh.
Da 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 da. Tom can't aim.
I feel bad. And by extension, by proxy, Kirby feels bad. What the hell is that balloon thing?
I think it's a Drifloon that ate too much at Thanksgiving.
Oh my god, have you read the fucking Pokedex entry?
Yes, Tom, we have all read those Pokedex entries. They're fucked up.
It's like, when its body explodes, you can hear its soul escaping. Like, Jesus Christ, are you okay?
Yeah, man, that Pokedex, man, I do not know what the deal is with that. I know it's a Rotom, it's Ghost type and everything, but still.
Alright, back to the factory.
Man, they really love these tower levels, although at least partially this one takes place underwater. And, Kirby just kind of, he shows up underwater, he's like, I don't care. I don't even need to breathe. Does he need to breathe? Legit question. Does Kirby need to breathe?
Not really. Has there ever been a Kirby game with an air meter?
Well, I'm not saying, like, you would think that the air meter, in the case of Kirby's design, would be removed for, like, gameplay simplicity. But I'm like, in any situation, like, just Kirby in general, does he, like, need to breathe? I would guess not, because as we all know, the inside of him is a giant black hole, through which nothing can escape.
Seriously, there's no room for lungs in there. By nature of biology, just ain't got time. Okay, I think we gotta discuss Ninja Mate, and the less Naruto references and jokes, the better, please. What's your opinion on this power-up?
Fortunately for you, I have not actually watched or seen a lot of Naruto, so I can't really make a lot of reference. And I'm not talking about Uchiha Madara with the Gensoko... I don't know what the fuck the copy pass is, I'm sorry. Ninja's okay. Like, again, a lot of powers fall into this place for me. It's not my favorite, but I do legitimately enjoy using Ninja. I like the kunais. It's got a good wall cling ability. I like the dash slash you can do with it, and that's pretty fun. So, you know, if there's no other power available, I'm not going to be like, oh no, I gotta play Ninja. I do enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a versatile power-up. It can actually cling to the wall and you can fire kunais that way, and this is actually crucial to getting a particular tricky code cube later in the game. And I'm not entirely sure the game will ever prompt you to use this outside of getting that code cube. So, as a, you know, a little side note, as it were, if you ever want to know what all, like, your powers are for a particular power-up, or abilities, I should say, overusing the word power here, just open up, like, the pause menu, and you can scroll along, and you can, like, find secret tips and tricks.
Yeah, you know, it's just like the GamePro magazines, except they don't make those on anymore, unfortunately.
I was going to say Nintendo Power myself, but again, overusing the word power. And I think we took the correct route, going through the correct launch stars and whatnot, so bada bing, bada boom, code cube, baby.
I believe I actually fucked up this code cube the first time, because I didn't quite click that you actually have to not take the first star you see in the background, but you wait until the next one in order to get to where you have to go. So yeah, I had to redo that again, and like I said, I only had to redo a few of them, code cubes throughout the game, but otherwise it wasn't too bad. ESP Robobot is pretty fun. I mean, like, and of course Beam also, you know, big recurring theme here with the giant energy balls, but ESP is a little bit more finicky, but still rewarding.
Oh, I gotta pick this up, just gonna bring it over here. No reason, I just like carrying big metal blocks.
Now we just gotta take this upstate, you know. I'm guessing we need a moving company that uses robots. Eventually it's gonna be that way, you realize. Like, it's gonna be like the year 3500, and they're just gonna use robots to move everything, if they haven't invented Pokemon already. And to be honest, I really think they're gonna invent Pokemon first before they invent robots that move stuff for you.
Well, I think Pokemon Go is just like some kind of Trojan horse. They're gauging to see whether they can get the kids out there before they begin the biological testing and whatnot.
Now you definitely want to use this platform to actually go back and knock out those star blocks so you can access this code cube treasure chest.
Bada bing. One more to go and we're done with this factory hijinks. Oh, he's sleeping! And now he's dead!
That is the sleep enemy. I'm gonna get the exact name of that, but when you absorb it, you will get the sleep power-up, which is a completely useless power-up in most of the games. I believe in like 1 or 2 of them it actually restores your health, but when you eat it, it just basically puts you to sleep for a while, and you can't do anything, you can't move, and you basically have to wait for the power to burn out. So it's always a trap option.
Does it not even heal you? Because that seems like a thing that sleep should do.
Also, if the player obtains the Sleep Ability Scroll in Kirby Squeak Squad, which was a decent Kirby game, Kirby will slowly regain health as he sleeps, up to just under 25% with all 8 Vitality pieces collected, so Sleep Bubble heals more health than common food outside of combat, but Kirby is still defenseless while using it. You guys really need to use periods to break up your sentences, just saying.
Make sure you hit both of those blue switches in the background, by the way. Don't, like, you know, go off half-cocked and jump into the launch stars straight away. Otherwise you'll miss your chance, just like I missed that purple star there.
Oh, by the way, we haven't mentioned it yet, collecting 100 stars will net you an extra life, but again, your lives will reset when you turn off your DS, which is a problem for me as somebody who likes to constantly play short sessions of games and then go off and do something else. So, it's not too bad though, because again, it's Kirby. It's not really going to be a huge detriment.
That's one of Meta Knight's followers, isn't it? Trident Knight?
Yeah, Trident Knight, I presume Axe Knight, Sword Knight. Let me just double check, because they probably have some weird name that I did not actually expect.
Yeah, look up Meta Knight's crew, but save it for later, when we're actually going through Meta Nightmare Returns.
Okay. Yeah, I got his crew here. Oh man, he has more knights than I expected. Alright.
Okay. Not entirely sure what to make of this particular level. Let's see what type of level it is together, Helldragon.
Sure. Oh, it's the big old ice cream factory level. This one's kind of neat.
Yeah, because when I think ocean-themed worlds, I think ice cream level. But to be fair, it's aesthetically pleasing. There's my aesthetic quota for the day. And it gives, you know, the ice power-up a chance to shine with plenty of fire blocks that you can, like, freeze over and whatnot. And just plenty of chances to skid along. Ice skating, if you will.
I've never been a big fan of the ice power-up, but I will admit in this game and, the 3DS Kirby games, because if I keep saying and Triple Deluxe, we're going to be here all day. It does give ice more uses and versatility, which is always, nice for ice. There you go. But I'm not really going to be reaching for it anytime soon, I have to say.
Fair enough, mate, fair enough.
But the big gimmick about this particular level is that machines in the background will often be creating huge ice cream cones for particularly no good reason except just to topple forward and fall onto Kirby. Well, I would presume he would be able to eat that, but I guess he's too busy, eating candy and getting invincible.
Go along here as quick as possible, because as you may have guessed, you will need this invincibility. Well, sort of, I guess. It'll make your life a lot easier to get this code cube down here.
I am liking how you are using the ice ability to kind of just skate through really fast, which is something I admittedly don't do. I run like a total pleb who doesn't know what he's doing.
It's just easier when you're like skating up these like ramp/hills and whatnot, instead of like slowly plodding your way up like some kind of pink marshmallow ball.
I'm pretty sure skating uphill is physically impossible, but this is Kirby we're talking about, so I'm not really going to strain too much over it.
Some motherfucking Kirby's always trying to ice skate uphill.
Yeah, how does that shit work? I really demand a recount on these laws of physics here.
This is embarrassing, but you know what that quote's from, right?
What is?
That is from, I think, either Blade 1 or 2, but I always get it confused with Cool Runnings, which is like a G/PG rated Disney film or whatever.
Really? You confuse Blade with Cool Runnings of all movies?
No, whatever. Let's just get the thing and go home. Yes, you need the ice power-up for this particular code cube. Thankfully, if you neglected to get it on your way here, they give you it. They're just generous like that, you know?
Yeah, but don't expect that all the time. You definitely want to keep an eye out for any relevant power-ups you may need.
That one was lime. It deserved to die.
I'm not actually too unfond, if that is a word, and it is now, because I just said it online. And if I had enough Twitter followers, trust me, it would be a thing. I'm not too unfond of sherbet, actually. It's an okay flavor. I mean, like, I've had it before. I, of course, would prefer chocolate, but sherbet has actually kind of grown on me over time.
Okay. Was there anything that prompted that little spiel, or did you just want to proclaim your love for a certain flavor?
Well, you were dissing lime back there. I'm like, well, lime ice cream is okay in some situations. It's fine.
Well, given a choice between lemon or lime, which would you pick? Shall we start a Twitter poll about this shit?
Well, we might as well. They've started Twitter polls over stupider shit before.
This is actually a rather interesting bit of level design here. You see this head, you want to, like, ice it up, but there's loads of, like, cooker platforms and whatnot that you'll need to look out for. But thankfully, for all the melting that the head can do, you can just as easily freeze it back up again. And yes, it's teaching you this so you can get a code cube out of it. So just be on the ball and refreeze when you need to.
Later in particular, they will have levels centered around that mechanic that get definitely pretty tricky, actually. Like, it's possible to mess that up after a few times, so you might as well master it now.
Well, let's freeze these water spouts here.
The ice robot isn't that bad. Like, it actually makes me enjoy ice a lot more than it needs to, I think.
Well, it's got like you can freeze water, that's always a plus. It can create ice cream, I guess. Triple deluxe plus, if you're nasty. And it just looks cool as well. No, I'm not making an ice pun.
What would triple deluxe ice cream look and taste like?
Probably be Neapolitan, let's be honest here.
Yeah, it's Neapolitan, but of course, all the chocolate vanilla sections are removed.
Classic Hell Dragon throwback right there.
Well, I mean, it was a great Simpsons joke, so I might as well say it again.
Do you watch Simpsons around Christmas? That's when I usually tend to go back to the classic episodes.
I have not watched it in a long time. My crux of Simpsons watching was back when I was growing up, and me and my sister would check it out every day at 6 p.m. on UPN. Oh, you remember UPN? You feeling old yet?
Well, that sounds like an American station, so no.
Oh god, UPN is such an American station, you have no idea. It was actually created as a sort of more urban TV channel around the African American community, but it did have it did have shows like Star Trek Voyager, which admittedly is not a big reward. Let's be honest.
Jesus Christ.
It had some other live action stuff, 7 Days, things like that, and WWF SmackDown, which made UPN a very popular channel, at least on those days.
Well, you get what you pay for, I guess.
Hey, it was free, I ain't complaining. SmackDown was awesome back then.
Well, there you go, you get what you pay for. Alright, moving on to the final normal level of Overload Ocean. Oh, we're coming for you, motherfucker! Let's do this! Oh, this place looks great. If I recall correctly, yeah, the music here is wonderful.
I love the underwater levels in Planet Robobot. They look fantastic. The music is awesome. You know, it gives me that kind of nostalgia I tend to pine for when I'm looking at places like Planet Undertale and Rystar. It's always nice to have a really polite, friendly underwater area where you don't have to worry about drowning, which tends to ruin my enjoyment of most things, I have to admit.
Polite is an odd way to describe a water level, but then you have those land levels with their swearing and cussing and overuse of spikes and whatnot, so I can kind of see what you're angling at here.
Really, when you think about it, Grand Theft Auto 5 is one of the most unpleasant Sonic zones you've ever played.
Now, isn't there actually a water power-up for Kirby that appeared in previous Kirby games?
Yes, there has been. I believe, let me bring up the article here. Okay. It basically showed up not only in the anime Kirby Right Back At Ya, it also showed up in Kirby's Return to Dreamland, that one game for the Wii, but it hasn't really appeared since. It would seem that Poison is sort of like an upgrade-ish, a side grade of the water ability, but with the added ability to do, you know, like cloud-based poison and things like that. I mean, I enjoy using poison, but, you know, water apparently has some unique moves to it. I would have to play the game to find out, really.
That is a very unique sound clip we just got from you. I enjoy using poison. Not going to be taken out of context at all.
Man, you know, the shit I end up saying when I'm trying to do commentary consistently, you know, it always gets weird on me sometimes.
I think we've got a mini-boss coming up here. Otherwise, why would Bandana Waddle Dee be here?
You know, it is kind of a shame that you don't really get a chance to play as Bandana Waddle Dee, because like I said before, I like the spear thing he was doing, so I would have liked a chance to, you know, kind of try it out.
Well, would he use the Robobot suit, do you think? Would, like, the Robobot suit get Spear as a power-up?
That'd be kind of neat, actually. I'm not sure how you would make, like, a super robot spear, I'll be honest with you. I guess you could try it.
Well, I guess you could, like, have Spear as a base instead of a punch, and then put, like, elemental attacks on top of it.
Or what if it was, like, you could stab, but then, like, the tip would extend on, like, a mechanical chain kind of thing, and it's more like a long-range spear whip attack. That'd be pretty cool, actually.
My creativity begins and ends with elemental attack, so I think yours is a bit more creative. But Hammer, kind of a rare power-up, honestly. I only really tend to use this when, like, the Bonkers was his name?
Yeah, Bonkers is the name of that mini-boss, and for some reason, his roboticization basically involves metallizing his underbite. I never really got that, I have to admit, but that's how it is.
Well, I only ever use the power-up that he gives you when he appears, funnily enough, so I can't really tell you all that much about Hammer. It's one of Kirby's like moves in the Smash Bros. Series. It's a pretty solid power-up, honestly. You know, I haven't really got anything that major to complain about in regards to Hammer.
It rarely shows up, like you said, but, you know, it's a good move. You could spin around the water using it. You have a good, like, air attack for that kind of thing. It does good damage. Its up B in particular is particularly, you know, powerful. And I'm talking about its up B, you know, in Kirby standards, not like the Smash standards, obviously. But, I've tried to do, like, arena runs with Hammer before, but again, for those kind of scenarios, I tend to prefer defensive abilities overall. That's why I decided to ultimately cheese the game with, like, Leaf and things like that.
Oh no, it's a race against time, folks. We had one of these earlier when the battery was falling into a bottomless pit, and it's happening again here. But this time, much like last time, we have a chance to save it. I don't know why I tried to create a difference between these two scenarios. They're both the same. What's going on, Tom?
I'm not sure why you're like, oh no, this battery is in danger, we have to save it. But I mean, like, you definitely want to do it, because, like, it will unlock, I believe this also unlocks a code cube, because many of these code cubes are tied behind these battery things.
Oh, of course, of course.
Okay, there we go. See, the video has provided visual confirmation of my theory.
Hey.
Would you say it's a game theory?
And so, being finally done with THD's shit, Entom's soul ascended to heaven, and he was done.
Did you land on Cloud 2 as well when you got up there?
I feel like I'm drowning in 2 right now, mate. Jesus Christ.
I mean, Cloud 2 isn't bad. I mean, you're the first loser, but I mean, it's still not bad at the end of the day.
What a backhanded compliment. Oh, you're the first place loser. Can you just let me have my silver? That's all I want. That's the main dude from Mouse Attack or Squeak Squad, wasn't it?
Mouse Attack. It's just... That sounds funny. No, Mass Attack's what you're thinking of. But yes, he was the main villain from Squeak Squad. He led some gang. I don't know what the fuck his name of the gang was. Let me look that up real fast, actually. I have no idea why he's called Da Roach. You would think he would be Da Mouse, but whatever. Oh, in Korea, he's called Dopang, which sounds hilarious.
And it wasn't Mass Attack I was saying. It literally said Kirby Mouse Attack, so I'm guessing that's a localization change.
Let's see, Squeak Squad, he is the leader of the Squeaks. Oh yeah, in Europe it is called Mouse Attack, huh? I thought you just messed up your Kirby games, but no, that's actually accurate.
Yeah, definitely, yeah, the 3DS is sadly region locked, so this is a PAL copy of the game.
So, like, in the European version, like, I know in America Kirby's always angry. In Europe, is Kirby just, like, overly polite but depressed all the time?
Jesus. Well, do you think fucking, like, Popstar went through their own version of Brexit, where they tried to kick DDD out of the country/planet?
Yeah, that's why Popstar, one of the tips got removed, because it decided to separate from the rest of Popstar.
Oh, Lord have mercy. We've got a lot of motion controls in this particular EX stage, and don't worry, they're actually kind of intuitive, if, a bit on the underused side. Like, I don't know, it's a Kirby game, they've got to keep it simple, but I think they maybe could have done a little bit more of it, as is, these, like, tiltable platforms are actually pretty fun.
The gyroscope controls feel good in this game. Again, they're not overused, they're underused, but, I mean, they don't overstay their welcome. They're not like in other games, where they would try to put in gyroscope controls just to justify them, and they don't really control that well. One game that immediately comes to mind is Mario & Luigi Dream Team, and those god-fucking-awful giant fights. Oh, I hated those.
I didn't really have a problem with Gyro in Dream Team until, like, I think it's, like, either the second to last or the final fight. It may be the last giant fight against Bowser, because, oh boy, whoever made the choice that you have to use a gyro attack to finish off the boss should, well, not have been fired, because that's a dick move and really petty, but at least given a firm smack across the face.
To their credit, they did kind of remove that shit in Paper Jam, where I have to say, actually, as much as I trash that game, the giant fights are way more fun and better, mostly because I don't have to use the damn touch controls to move the shit. It's just normal buttons like everything else.
Surprisingly somber music in this particular, like, Ice Factory variant.
It really kind of gives me actually kind of a callback to Metroid Zero Mission. Like, you know, the ice area, but it had that really kind of ominous music that played throughout it. I really like that area in that game, actually.
Are you sure you're not thinking of Fusion? Because that did have a nice area.
Fusion, yes, my bad. I accidentally switched the games around. That's my error.
You know, we actually did that playthrough in one day, and I'm talking to the audience here, not you. Not that I'd expect you to remember what we do after the fact or anything.
Hey man, my memory is short-lived. It's too busy, you know, focusing on the few anime that I watch in video games.
Oh yeah, too busy. I got my mind on my money and my money on the mind, you know what I'm saying?
You know, that's a joke, but that's also partially true about me.
Hey man, you got your priorities and I respect that. Alright, we're gonna do some more block moving. A little bit of a trademark symbol for you though.
Yeah, you got to freeze the platforms appropriately and pick up the spark power up here to open the door. Let me just narrate what's going on screen. And now that the door is open, you can collect the code cube, which will allow you to break this platform.
So I was gonna let you do that for the entire part, then I realised probably a little bit patronising to our fans who are like hard of hearing, or no wait, sorry, hard of sight. You wouldn't need a fucking like hearing or talk along thing if you were hard of hearing. Jesus, Tom, get it together.
Hey, don't worry. If I wanted to patronize them, I would read out all the text and do my own voice acting for that.
Oh, snap!
And then I would ask people to pay me for it on Patreon.
Oh, snap!
You guys know exactly what I'm talking about, so I'm not going to dwell on that.
Of course. kind of in the mood for some Tutti Frutti ice cream now. Kirby is a very bad role model when it comes to losing weight. I'm not sure if he looked like that from birth, but still like a rotund, black hole-filled alien is not really the kind of being you want to look up to.
I'm trying to think of all the Nintendo characters who are fat, and if there are more fat Nintendo characters than thin ones. I mean, we have... Would you consider Mario fat? I mean, I know he has the gut, but he jumps all the time, and he otherwise not, corpulent compared to, say, a Wario.
Well, sticking with the Italian stereotype that he is, he eats a lot of pasta and whatnot. He's heavily into carbs, shall we say.
Hey, carbs are okay in certain situations. I've actually kind of dropped them recently for health reasons, but other than that, they are fine. Well, I know Luigi's thin, so I guess his metabolism is pretty good. Do they have a fat princess? Or is that just the Sony game I'm thinking of?
That's just the Fat Princess Sony franchise, yeah.
I would imagine that down the line they'll probably introduce one, I would think. I don't know. We had, just Peach and Daisy for a very long time, and then suddenly Rosalina comes in, and now she's fucking everywhere. I'm like, holy shit, guys.
Bitch, I'm gonna get paid. It's time to get some branding up in this bitch.
Man, what does she need to get paid for? She has a fucking space station. That's way more than I have.
She's God, if you, go by certain sources and whatnot.
I normally would pick up a wheel, presented here, but I wouldn't really recommend it here because the arena is so limited. Parasol is a much better choice, and it will allow you to actually guard against these projectiles this squid motherfucker in the back is shooting.
I thought you were going to say King Doo's projectiles, and that would be false. I've tried it myself. Many a retake came from making that mistake, let me tell you what.
So they, just kind of cyberized the back of his head? Did they give him a super brain or something like that? I've never been a cyborg, admittedly. I hear it sucks, go back to Overwatch for that one, but I'm not sure what you would... Well, there would be a lot of uses for somebody's cyber brain. I mean, some people have played Deus Ex. I certainly haven't because I don't like effort.
Sorry, can you repeat that? Was it Deus Ex, did you say?
Yeah, it was Deus Ex, sorry.
No, I believe it's pronounced Deus Ex, you fucking pleb. You fucking...
Oh, I'm sorry.
You non-Clank wannabe, that's what you are.
What am I, Clunk? Clunk is lame. They should have made, they have Clank, Clunk, they should have made a Crunk. And it's like an Ebonics spouting Clank. I think that would have been hilarious, actually.
Well, Insomniac's writing went down tier enough, mate. You don't want to, send it to the depths of hell. What the fuck is that?
That's just, alright, that's King Dedede. No, I think that's supposed to be a reference to, there's this great episode of Kirby where King Dedede makes his own anime, and it's actually pretty good. Even the dub version is funny, because, but then if you watch the Japanese version, they'll make fun of how voice acting is done. King Dedede gets fucking otakus to write the episode, and they have this scene that has been cut out of the American version, for reasons that will become clear as I tell you. There's a scene where the otakus throughout the episode, they kind of have a thing for, what's her damn name? That fucking girl he hangs out with. Hold on, let me,
girl he hangs out with, that'll do.
Okay, sure. The girl he hangs out with. And they did a animated clip as part of King Dedede's cartoon where the girl, who is normally a very short, kind of stumpy person, she's full adult size and she has huge, bouncing Kirby's.
Okay.
If you know what I mean.
Yes. Never trust anyone with a text box. That's my life's creed, and it served me well. I don't care if your name is Suzy, and you work for the Haltmann Works company. I don't trust you.
Yeah, you have to say very important company names in bold, dramatic text. Microsoft! Or something like that. So yeah, she's basically gonna sell the company to us, hey, you may be interested in buying stock in Haltmann Works company. We just do something very simple. We roboticize planets, we sell a few to the Trade Federation, we have this deal going with Frieza, it's fantastic. Although I heard some beefs happened a while ago with the, Planet Vegeta back there, but we've been ironing that.
MOP, for short.
I always wonder, whenever they come up with, project abbreviations, if they ever deliberately try to make it sound like something, or they just kind of pick whatever words feel good. I guess, if you want to refer to it as shorthand, it kind of needs something catchy and short, so you can kind of do it that way.
And, they're going with this whole, you fleshy beings took this world for granted, so now we're gonna take it. First of all, I want to see the receipts.gif. Second of all, this is my planet, and I will defend it. Look how determined Kirby looks there.
Yeah, I mean, like, and who's to say that the mechanical beings that take over a particular planet wouldn't also fuck it up like the humans do? I mean, come on, machines can be wrong. Let's be honest here. They have bugs and glitches for a reason.
Let's just hope she can't hover, otherwise I'm completely fucked at the top of the screen here.
At this early in the game, the Suzy fight is a surprisingly multi-layered boss. She's not really difficult, however, I do want you to consider it as training for a similar boss that we'll be facing later on, down the line.
Now, you say it appears like relatively early into the game. We're halfway through, like, the story right now, because there are 6 worlds in the game.
Well, that's true, but I also considered, like, Access Arc and the other stuff, like the big final 7th world, you know, kind of to play a part. Now, during this point, of course, you want to watch out for her options. Eventually, what she'll do soon is that she'll start doing a move where she kind of teleports and tries to slam at you, and you want to watch out for that.
Oh, it just missed. It phased out of existence. Thankfully, I have... Ow.
Yeah, again, good thing Kirby can take a hit, you know what I'm saying?
What is she doing? Oh, Jesus!
This is a very poor misuse of Haltmann Works, you know, building design over here.
I tried to get, like, uppercuts and wanted to come out, but I think I was too busy spamming the B button at this point.
Well, you do have to watch out, because the uppercut, though powerful, does have that lag at the end, you know, much like, you know, Street Fighter Shoryukens tend to do. So you want to be careful throwing those out willy-nilly.
So are you particularly high up in the company, Suzy? Because what I'm saying is, does everyone at Haltmann get their own mech? Because if so, hail robots. I welcome our new mechanized overlords.
No, I have a feeling you have to work part-time. You have to be there for at least 90 days before they consider you for that particular benefits program.
Jesus Christ, I'm never gonna get my own fucking robot.
Hey, you know what? I'm working a job at the moment that's like that, and I still don't get my own fucking robot. So, hey, you're not the only one, my friend.
I didn't even look at her when I defeated her. That's how badass I am. Oh dear.
Always build a robot that does not have any connecting limbs between its hands and shoulders. You know, the Rayman strategy does not always work.
It's alright, Kirby. Stand down. She's defeated.
Hold on, I have my own version of headgear. Let me get out of here.
Well, she's done. Time to dance. She got fucking owned.
I hate it when Kirby comes over and he invites in all of his friends and they mess up the fucking floor with their dancing. It's ridiculous. I gotta clean up after that, you know?
And then they eat and absorb everyone and, so many funerals to attend, you know?
I can never live in an apartment again. Thanks, Kirby.
Ah, a desert. Just the type of world I wanted to see.
I'm detecting a tiny bit of sarcasm. Are you okay over there?
I'll have to adjust my programming for the next part, I guess, because, yeah, not my favourite world, but we'll talk more about that next time in Kirby Planet Robobot. Bye for now!